When people ask me about Harry's autism, what it means, how it affects him, I find it quite hard to explain it sometimes. So I thought what I'd do for Autism Awareness Week is share a video of a day in the life with my wonderful boy, Harry. At the moment, we're just waiting for Harry to wake up. He doesn't sleep very well, he never has. Should we go get him? And we spent ages trying to figure out what was wrong with his sleep and what to do with it, how to fix it. Now I look back, I wonder if it actually was linked to his autism, because I know that can be one of the symptoms. This is his little brother James. But he had a bit of a rough night last night, so I'm letting him sleep in. But we reach a point where I've got to wake him up because we've got to get ready for school. And I need to allow time for if he has a meltdown. So we have to get up a little bit early. So should we go and get Harry? Yeah? Should we get Harry? Yeah. I can hear him. Come on. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I want a picture.
You want a picture?
Yeah.
Ready?
Please.
That's a great picture. Are you ready to go downstairs?
I just want the big iPad.
Well, let's do breakfast first, and then when you're dressed, you can have the iPad. Yeah?
But I want...
You know we need to get dressed first. Breakfast, dressed, then iPad, okay?
But I want the iPad.
No, it's too late.
I want the iPad first.
We need to go and get dressed. We need to go and have breakfast, okay? Yeah?
Yeah. Can I?
You can have the iPad after breakfast.
Yeah. Can I have it up here?
If you want to. Right, what bowl would you like?
Nemo.
Nemo.
Just hurry now. I just want
Harry, can you come back in here, please? What cereal do you want?
Elsa.
Elsa today.
Yeah.
Baby James having shreddies? Right. Is that enough?
More.
Is that enough?
More.
Oh.
I want it.
Is that enough?
Yeah.
Good boy. So you'll have seen there that I have to do breakfast in a certain way. I have to let him choose what bowl to have. I have to let him choose what cereal. I have to let him tell me how much he wants. If I don't do those things, not always, but very often it will cause a meltdown that I'll then have to deal with for the next sort of half an hour. So it's very much a case of just being switched on all morning and all day. Just making sure that I'm thinking of everything that has upset him in the past to try and keep it as calm as possible, because we're so pushed for time in the morning getting ready for school. It's something that we absolutely have to be there by 9:05, so there's no wiggle room on it. So it feels like a lot of pressure, it feels like a lot of sort of overthinking, having to plan for all the different possibilities, and rarely do I get time for my own breakfast. So what I'm doing now is just putting a slice of toast in. I need that ready for when he has finished his cereal, because if there's a gap between the two of them, then he'll get up and he'll go and play telly, he'll go and watch telly, or he'll go and play on his iPad, and then it's impossible to get him to go and get dressed. So I have to do breakfast and dressed every single morning to keep that routine as it is, otherwise it causes problems for him. So yep, I'm just going to do some toast for him, hopefully sit down and eat my breakfast really quickly before he finishes his, and then we'll be going to get dressed. This on and you can have Chuggington after we've got dressed, yeah?
I'm gonna want you to find Chuggington.
Darling, we'll get dressed first. You need to eat your toast, then we'll get dressed, then I'll do Chuggingtons, okay? I'll get Chuggingtons next, right now, you go to dress, okay? Come on, James. Right, come on then, time to get dressed.
I'm frozen.
You're frozen, are you? What are you doing? Come on.
Yeah. Hey, dog. Run away. I don't run away.
You are perfectly capable of doing this by yourself. Well, we need to go do our teeth. Yeah? Are you coming? He got upset because I turned the camera off. James, where did you go? Right, can you go? What toothbrush do you want? Harry, what toothbrush do you want?
Oh, I want me.
Crocodile.
Down, across, down.
Can I put some cream on your lip today?
Up, down, flick. Up and down and low. This is on. Oh.
Is that enough?
No more.
More? Well done. Well, let's wipe all that toothpaste off you.
Oh.
Right, I'm going to put some cream on your lip now, okay?
What?
Cream on your lip to make it better?
No. But it's bad. No.
Harry, come on, just a little bit of cream.
No.
There we go.
No.
No, darling, you need to leave it on.
But I want to take off.
No, darling, because we need to make it better, don't we? It's very nearly better.
But it's supposed to be like this.
It's not supposed to be like that, darling. It's very nearly better now.
It's supposed to be like this.
Fine.
Doesn't want.
Right, Mummy's going to do her teeth. James is going to do his, and then we're going to go down and watch Chuggingtons, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. We can watch one more Chuggington video, but only if you go and put your shoes on, okay? And yours. If I go and get your shoes, will you put them on while you watch Chuggington?
Yeah.
Because you've been so good today, would you like to move Thomas up one?
Yeah.
Yeah? Show everybody your chart. You're going to need your step, aren't you, so you can reach it. Go and get your step. So he has this chart at school, and then they made us one to have at home as well. And when he gets... What do you get when you get to number 10?
Everest.
Everest?
Yeah.
His latest Paw Patrol toy. Oh! Can he reach? Only just.
5, 7. What? 5, 7.
What number is it going up to?
9. 9.
No.
9.
What comes
9.
after 6?
9.
No, 7.
No, it
Right.
says 9, you silly.
You silly. Right, come on. Well done, Harry. You got to number 7. You're so close to getting...
I want to do to 9.
Harry, I'm not putting it on number 9.
But I want to do on 9 next.
What about 8?
No, 9.
Right, come on. To give in because we're running late.
Why did you do that?
All right. At least now school and know why I'm always late.
No.
Stop at the end. Stop there. Right, make sure you check for cars this morning, please. Stop, stop.
But I already looked.
Have you?
Yeah.
Walking. Harry, no. Harry, I have asked you to stop. Leave it alone. Harry, stop. He has to follow this track. So it gets really difficult if someone's walking on it. What's the matter?
I want you to move here. Move here.
I am.
Hey, but that's the way. This is the way.
You want me to go on the track?
No, on this.
On this side?
Yeah, this
Right, okay.
side.
You okay, James? Hello. I just want to start this segment with a side note of I am bright red because the hill into Pudsey absolutely kills me every morning, but it's helping me get my steps up, so I keep putting up with it. So that was a reasonably good walk to school. Actually, he was fairly obedient, stopped at roads, which was great. He doesn't always. You saw that he said, no, I did check, when I know he didn't. And also, how can I let a 4-year-old check? I need to make sure it's safe. So it's quite hard to keep up with him sometimes. We had a little boy on the other side of the road who's at the same school. So I told Harry that he needed to keep walking to get there before Ellis. Of course, we had a problem a bit further down when Ellis did actually beat him to school. So Harry got really upset with me for walking too slowly. Bless him. But then we got into the playground and he loves the playground. He loves playing outside. One of the reasons I picked that school is because the playground is amazing. The trouble is, when we get there, he wants to play. He doesn't want to wait in a queue. It was alright during lockdown because there was only like a few of us going in, so he could pretty much go straight in. But now everybody's back, you have to queue for ages to get in, and he just doesn't have the patience to do that. So he goes running off around the playground, and I end up feeling guilty because I'm like, you know, I should have a better control over my child. He's being a bad influence on the other kids. In fairness to the other kids, they are incredible. One of them just said her little brother was there playing with Harry, and she said to him, be nice to Harry Fieldhouse Downs. So I think they know they need to be patient and kind with Harry, which is lovely, and they are, and nursery were the same. So school and nursery are obviously doing a really good job at explaining Harry's behaviour, which must be hard to understand when you're kids, like why Harry's getting away with playing when they've all got to queue patiently and things like that. But anyway, as a mum, it makes me feel really guilty that I don't have a better hold on him. But if I were to try and force him to wait in the queue, he'd be having a meltdown and I'd be feeling guilty about that. So it's lesser of two evils, really. But so it's back home and straight on with work. I'm just about to record a video for Autism Awareness Week. So I've got a few fellow autism mums coming on to talk about our experiences with it. Yeah.
So I'm just thinking of something. My mum was saying, oh, I'm looking so like my mum, and my nanny has passed away a few years ago. And my son just looked at her, he's 9, and he just looked at her and went, but she's dead. And he literally was like, and we all just cracked up laughing because we were like, she doesn't mean that she looks like her.
I feel like I always look like a frazzled mum whenever I do these piece to cameras. It is the permanent state for me these days. So I've had a really busy day working. On Mondays and Tuesdays, Harry goes to after school club, so I have a full day of work. But on Thursdays, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I go and get him at end of school, which is 3 o'clock. So we always try and have a bit of time with him, but quite often I'm still trying to get work done, which I imagine you will see when I go and get him in a moment. It's quite hard trying to get work done if he's not in the right mood to let me. If he wants me to do something with him, if he wants me to go and get him food, there's no patience with him. It has to be done there and then, and that can be quite challenging if I'm trying to get something done for a deadline or whatever. So it's really trying to balance work with work life and mum life, and trying to find a routine. So it's really hard when there's something that isn't in the routine. So what I tend to do is I will leave the afternoons like this to do emails or something, if I can, something that doesn't matter if I break off partway through it. Now today I've got to finish writing an article for my online magazine, Sparkle Up North. So I really want this article to go out tomorrow, because I had one that was meant to go out yesterday and I didn't get it done. So I am sort of under the cosh, as it were. I really want this to happen, but I have to be able to let myself off if I don't get things done on time, because it just isn't always possible with him. One of the reasons my hair looks such a mess is because I fell asleep for half an hour earlier on this afternoon, because neither of them sleep. James is 18 months, so I would expect him not to be sleeping through yet, but Harry still doesn't, and that then has the knock-on effect of my work, because I'm shattered, and it can be really hard. And I know that's the same when you're a working mum, whether you have an autistic child or not. And that was what I wanted to come on and talk about, really, was how it feels, just being switched on constantly, having to think about, I know I need to leave her at about 3:10. I know I need to try and get somewhere near the front of the queue, because he doesn't like waiting. He's better now that he's used to that being the end of the day routine. If he wants something, when I pick him up, we have to, he will go on and on and on about it until we get home, which can be really draining on your mind, on your head, on your mental health. And it's just constantly being switched on, constantly thinking, okay, what happens if he has a meltdown? What happens if he doesn't want to do this? What happens if he doesn't want to do that? And the temptation can be just to sort of try and go with the flow and do whatever he feels like doing. But also that's really hard to do, because given half a chance, he would spend all afternoon and evening on the iPad. And we can't let him do that, because that affects his behaviour. He won't do anything else if you need him to. So we have to give him some kind of structure of an evening. And that's exhausting, trying to plan. So right now, I because I need to get my work done, I suspect he will be on the iPad or watching telly. So now in my head, I'm thinking, well, okay, but what if then he won't come and eat dinner, or what if then he won't go up to bed because he's been on the iPad all evening? So really what I could do with is thinking some kind of activity, some kind of game to do with him, but I need to get my work done. So again, it's that balance. One of the things I find really challenging is when I talk about Harry, how do I refer to him? Is he autistic, or does he have autism? I don't like either of those, because I feel like it's putting a label on him, and it's also feels quite negative saying it as well, like it's an illness. But it isn't, and that's really hard, knowing how to describe it. And even the fact that sometimes I feel compelled to explain to people that he has autism, I shouldn't need to, because people should be understanding and forgiving or whatever. I have this constant battle in my head with how I should define him, because I don't want to define him, because I don't think you can. Every autistic child is different, so you can't just define them with that label. And as a mum, that's really hard to get your head around. I have never really, before I'd had children, even when Harry was little, it never popped into my head to consider what it would be like having an autistic child. I didn't learn about it. I didn't know a whole lot about it. I was sympathetic to anyone who experienced it, but it wasn't something that I knew anything about. So when Harry was diagnosed, it was sort of like I was thrown into the deep end with it, and suddenly we're having to cope with it. We're having to adjust our lives to fit around it and to make sure he's okay. And there's a lot of pressure there with, like, he's dependent on me, you know, he's dependent on me and Luke, but me and my partner making sure that everything is set up for him, that he's looked after, that he's got somewhere to come when he's feeling sad, that his school are doing everything they need to, which thankfully for us they are, that his school are brilliant. In many ways they show us the way, they show us what to do, but I know not all parents have that support. So it's a lot of guilt, worrying that you're not doing enough. And it's a lot of just constantly feeling like you're not good enough, basically. Maybe that's just me. But it's constant worry for them, and it's constant worry about yourself. And it's draining. It's really, really draining. So I was chatting to him, there's a little girl walking behind us, and I said, we're just going to cross the road, all right, sweetheart? Oh, watch the car. Darling, we need to cross the road. Look, can you see up there? There's men on the path, so we need to cross the road, okay? Are you ready? I know, darling, but we can't get past them. Okay, and if we get any closer it's not going to be safe to cross, so are you ready to cross? Harry,
I'm ready to cross.
Right, well, we need to cross soon. Look, we're not going to be able to get past them, they've got their drills.
Hey, but I want to do it past them.
Alright, where are you going?
I'm ready to do it.
You're sitting on it. Harry, you need to walk with me, please. Jump over the shadows. Yeah. There's another one here, look.
But you gotta jump over this one.
Over this one first. Okay, ready?
Uh-oh, there's two shadows ahead.
There is two shadows. Go on then. Well done. And the next one. Good boy.
Hey, you gonna jump over that?
I did, darling.
No, you didn't. You walked on it.
I walked over it. Okay, just come out of the way. Come here.
No.
Harry, just come here a second. All right. Okay.
I don't like them.
Right, are you ready? Do you want me to jump? Yeah? Are you ready for me to jump? Ready? 1 and 2. Go back where? Here? Do you want me to go back here? Is this where you want me to go? Harry? From here? Further back? Tell me what you want me to do. I'll have to go to him. I asked you to move because we were in the way, and now they've gone past. You can go back and jump over the shadows, okay? Darling, but they've gone home. Look, I can't see them. They've gone home.
I want them to jump back and fly again, because I want them to fall over.
Harry, I've got some sweets in my pocket. Do you want a sweet? Will that make you feel better?
No.
What about chocolate at home?
No. I want these eyes to right there.
Harry, they've gone. They aren't here, okay? We can go again. Oh, here we go, look. Sweeties. Okay, that's rare. What about some chocolate?
No.
Sweeties?
No, I want the other side right there.
Darling, they're gone now. It got worse. It was such a wrestling home. You want to go out in the garden?
I want to go outside.
Harry, if you want to go outside, you can go in the garden. No, you can't go out that way. You can go out in the garden though.
I want to go out that way.
You get stuck in this vicious circle of he's asking again and again and again, and I've tried explaining what's happened. I've tried explaining that we can't go back out there to where those boys were because they've gone home. I've tried everything, and that's what he keeps saying is I want to try again, I want to try again. So he keeps asking, and I'm trying this thing which has worked in the past but isn't, and he's like this. Right, I've told you 3 times, I'm not going to tell you again because the more you say no, the more upset they get. And I've tried this thing where it's like, just don't respond. The problem is, when you don't respond, it just winds them up even more. So what are you supposed to do? Go downstairs with Bird, and I'm going to get a piece of birthday cake.
But I don't want you.
You can stay up here.
And I don't want to watch you not what I'm doing.
You can stay up here and calm down, or you can come down with Mummy and Bird and get some birthday cake. I don't mind which one you do, okay?
And I want to do what you don't want to do.
You can choose, Harry. I'm going downstairs, okay?
And I want to what I want to do.
I know, baby. Would you like some birthday cake?
No, I want mommy.
A bigger knife, where is it? Yeah, that's it. Right, I'm going to have a slice of birthday cake. You don't have to.
Good. But I think I don't want to buy it. Because I want to do
Darling, I'm going to get some cake out, okay?
I don't want anything. I want to buy it.
We've decided that try again was referring to walking home because I had to carry him. He's upset that he didn't walk, so we are going back. So we're going to the bus stop and then back home again, yeah? Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me again, Harry, what do you want?
I just want tape. And the bag of tape was already eaten.
Yeah, it's because we had a slice yesterday.
Yeah. That's in the morning.
We did, didn't we? Because what was yesterday?
It was your birthday.
It was. So what did you sing?
Happy birthday.
And you sang it very well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit of a big piece. Aren't you lucky?
Yeah.
Right, do you want to take Bird and have your cake? is part of the reason I put on weight during lockdown, because of comfort eating? Hell yeah it is. So now that's all calmed down, it's 4 o'clock. So exactly an hour since I went and picked him up, and his school is 5 minutes away from us. So, not that it's the most important thing, but it's important to me, is the fact that I've lost a lot of time work-wise. Like, I could have got quite a bit done in that half an hour that I would have had once we got home if everything had been alright. And I think that's the thing when you're trying to plan out your day, is you can't plan around them, but you need to plan for work to know how much you can get done, and to be able to stay on track. So it's really draining on your mental health, like having to change your plans constantly. And also, I'm now sat down absolutely exhausted after a day of thinking constantly, a fairly long drop off, just on the move all the time, except for half an hour when I sat down and watched Waterloo Road while I ate my lunch. It just feels draining, and that's not the best place to be when I'm sat down working. The job I need to do is write an article, as I said before, and you need to be in the right headset to be able to write an article and feel creative. Thankfully I've done most of the work, I just need to edit it and upload it, but this is the thing, and it leads to me having a daily debate with myself about whether carrying on working is the right thing for me to do. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, because when I don't have work, so when I first had Harry, when I was pregnant with him, I lost my job. I was made redundant, and I found it really hard not having a career. I was worried all the time about getting back into work. I was worried about, never being able to find a job again. I was particularly around him now being at nursery and at school. I was bored. I think that was a big part of it, actually. I was really bored. I was really fed up. And I was constantly having ideas. That's why I started up a blog, just because I needed to be doing something, particularly something creative. And I love it. I love my job. I love what I do. I love my work. So for me, work is my comfort. Work is my escape when I've had a stressful day with him. Like Luke is running late right now, but when he gets home, I will go and sit upstairs for an hour probably until dinner time, just to be able to switch off. Because even though Harry's only home, like on my own with him for a couple of hours of an afternoon, is draining trying to do that and the housework. In fact, that's just reminded me I need to go and get some washing out of the tumble dryer. Trying to work, trying to do the housework, trying to make sure he's okay, being disturbed. He's just come over and given me a cuddle, bless him. And I know that that's like a normal working mum juggle, but when you've got these huge meltdowns in the middle that are just exhausting, I'm all sweaty from having carried him home. Like, I'm shattered with having wrestled him. I'm feeling low because of how horrid that meltdown was to go through. And I mean, obviously the most important thing is that he is no longer feeling sad. He's quiet, he's very subdued. I don't know if you can see him. But we found PJ Masks, so that once he's had his cake and we've got PJ Masks on, he's happy. So that's good. That's my priority, of course. But it's then once you've got them settled down, you've then got to pick yourself up again.
You are my favourite guy.
Your favourite guy?
Yeah, and in the whole city, there's everybody.
There is. Can you say hello, everybody?
Hello.
Quietly, because James is trying to get to sleep. Can you say thank you for watching?
No.
No, what do you want to say then?
I want to say, let's have yoga.